everybody! Welcome back to the Wattpad Book Club. A very exciting Wattpad Book Club, as this is the last one of the year.
Woo!
Finally, I can rest in peace. Until,
Good.
like, Saturday, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I have Joline with me.
Hi.
Hi, Joline. Hi, Pookie.
Hi, Kiki.
God, we were last time we were recording V3, Coyote got brought up a lot after you left, and I'm like, damn.
God damn it.
Yeah. We don't worry, we freaked out on your behalf. We're like, oh my god, it's Coyote!
Thank God.
It's Coyote! We're like, damn, and Joline and I ain't here for it. Don't worry.
I was so tired.
Yeah, don't worry. This next chapter gonna be crazy. So
Is Coyote gonna be in it a lot this chapter?
I think, yeah, there's gonna be mentions of her.
Thank God, I have so many cat reaction images saved just to use for that.
Good. So yeah. Anyway, back on topic. We're doing another Wattpad Book Club reading. Not about Danganronpa, which we honestly should add that to the wheel at this point.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. We're reading more Polytrix, because that's what the wheel said. Or either the wheel told us to, or it landed on Jolene's choice, and Joline was like, I want to read more Polytrix, and that's what we're doing today. Honestly, I'm having a little hard time remembering what was last put up on here. Sorry, I'm gonna have to blur that.
Oh, what are we blurring?
I forgot that I had up the aquarium and didn't change tabs.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to blur that. Anyway.
Just put like a blank screen.
Yeah. Everyone's gonna see a picture of Vox.
Hi, Vox.
Yeah, hi
Hi,
Vox.
Vox.
Hi Pookie. I missed you. Even though I'm gonna see him tomorrow when I watch the episodes. Anyway, I'm so excited.
I'm sorry, can I mention something a little off topic?
Go ahead.
You mentioned adding V3 to the wheel, right?
Yeah.
And I've seen a ship that I've never seen before as I look up my girl, Kaede.
Is it Maki and Kaede?
No, I'm cool with that. I've seen the fan art. I'm great. That's sick.
Can I guess another character?
Kaede. Yeah, actually, you know what? Yes.
I feel like the way they were acting with this is a crack ship of her and this person has never really interacted unless by choice by the player.
Uh-huh.
Can I guess Ryoma?
I did not Ryoma. I had to remember who Ryoma was, but yeah, no.
Alright,
I remember. Mr. Tennis Player. With Kaede and Kokichi.
What?
That's what I'm saying!
Huh? You're gonna have to send me this. I need to see it with my fucking eyes.
I got you, Cookie. I will send it.
Send that shit. Who is it like a silly one shot, or is it like
I think it's a one shot. It says like it's like an hour 10-minute read.
Oh, this looks beautiful.
We just read that instead. That'd be
yeah, fuck Polytrix. Let's read
terrible.
Kaede X Kokichi. It's
no,
7
Yodi
parts.
announced it in the Discord. We're reading this.
Yeah, I don't know. What if I was like, just kidding, guys. We're reading a book with Kokichi in it. Sage should fucking lose his mind.
Oh god, silly little guy.
Wait, they're different AUs. Oh wait, I can get behind this.
Wait.
Don't look at it and spoil shit. You can look at it until we finish V3 on Friday. Okay.
Okay.
I looked at the first one. I'm like, damn, that really does spoil a lot.
Okay, I haven't opened it.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to read V3 fanfic. I have read like a couple, but that's just because they tell me what that has spoilers for, and I've not, gone past that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, spoilers for chapter 3, spoilers for chapter this and on.
Yeah, at least some people are nice like that. Well, you're reading AO3,
Yeah.
Of course they're nice like that. Wattpad is like a fucking minefield.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not with this book, because this one's really good, and I think you recommended this one.
Which one?
The Polytrix one that we're reading right now.
I'm pretty sure you chose this one.
Did I?
I thought you did. I thought you were like, this one looks good, Joline, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it, we've all.
I thought, I was like, this one looks cool, and I thought maybe you read through it and you're like, dude, this is a masterpiece. We're gonna have to find out eventually.
I don't remember.
I don't know. Elf was there. We should ask him.
I'm gone. My brain's also gone. My voice is almost gone.
Then we should probably read them before you just evaporate.
Yeah, before I dissolve into foam.
Oh my god, last coin flip of the year. Heads or
oh my
tails?
god, no! Wait, we didn't even choose who's who.
What do you mean? I said heads or tails.
Wait, what did I say?
You said nothing. You said, well, we didn't decide.
What did you get?
I didn't, what? I said heads or tails. Which side would you like to be
I thought you had already flipped it. I was really confused.
I was asking heads or tails.
Confused. I'm gonna say tails
okay.
Because I don't know.
It's heads. It landed on my keyboard.
Okay.
Let's go.
Oh, that's kind of sick.
Did a fucking trick shot. Alright, the
Does
that say the velvet truth? I think it's velvet. No, I was about to say it's the violent truth, but there has no N in it. Alright.
It's the violet truth.
Yeah. Alright. Oh my god, Zoe! Ah! My girl! I never liked Celine. Not a lot of the people in the fandom does. Okay. Not from the first time I met her, with her too vibrant smile in the eyes that watched like a hawk, dispecting prey. She always dispected prey. She always spoke sweet, sure, but it was kind of the sweetness that was laced with poison, the kind that demanded that you say thank you after swallowing it. Rumi had said that we didn't have to come with her. Mira and I both ignored that. Now, we stood behind her in the worn steps of Celine's half-crumbling porch. The creak of the wood under our feet sounded way too much like a warning. The front door was already open, like she's known we were coming. The tree glowed with the Hanmoon lines on it. Rumi? Celine said, all honey and thorns, arms open with mock affection. You've gotten brighter. Rumi didn't step forward. I need answers about the marks. Celine's smile tightened. Straight to the point, huh? No hug for your mother? You're not my mother, Rumi said quietly. And damn, if that didn't make me want to knock this woman's front teeth.
She's so real. So real for that. Me too.
Me too. Celine stepped aside to let them in. Her eyes flicked on me and Mira like we were bugs on her windowsill. We followed Rumi inside, tension buzzing in the air like an unspoken fight. The living room hadn't changed, still in the same two perfect plastic flowers, still the faint smell of lavender in control, still the silence that said, be quiet or else. Celine motioned to the worn couch. Sit. If you want answers, I'll give them. But don't cry when you hear the truth. Ruby didn't sit. She stood, arms folded tightly. The marks were already glowing through her hoodie again. Light blue near the collar, but flickers of purple crawled up her neck. I exchanged a glance with Mira. She noticed too. Celine noticed the glow and smiled like she just won a game. You've been changing faster than I expected. What do the colors mean? Rumi asked. Her voice cracked just slightly. Tell me. Celine moved to an old chest against the wall and opened it. From it, she pulled out a black leather book with framed corners. Demon script was carved into the cover, marks just like the ones on Rumi's skin. She opened it slowly, nublets caressing the page like it was a sacred thing. The marks are a record of what's inside you. Feelings you try to hide. Emotions you don't even know you're holding. The stronger the emotion, the brighter the mark. Most people never get past red. She flipped a few pages, then tapped one with long-nailed painted nublets. A sketch. A symbol. Purple. Here it is, she said. Tone almost bored. The rarest glow. Almost no one manifests it anymore. It means connection, vulnerability, emotional res- re- resonance? Resonance? That goes beyond instinct, beyond pain, beyond anger. Rumi stepped forward. What kind of connection? Celine tilted her head, feigning curiosity. Love, or something like it? Wanting, longing. The kind of feeling that makes people foolish, weak. Mira's hand found mine without a word, and Rumi just stood there like her heart had been laid out in front of her. It started when I was around them, she said softly, with Mira, and you, Zoe. Oh my god. That's her realization. She's gay! Oh! Celine scoffed. Of course. All that time living with them, you confuse comfort for meaning. Don't be stupid, Rumi. Those marks are dangerous. The more you feel, the more they'll take. I stepped forward before I stopped myself. Don't talk to her like that. Celine's eyes sharpened. You're just a girl playing protector. You think you love her? That you can stop what she is? No, I said calmly, but I can stop you from making her feel small for being something powerful. Rumi's glow pulsed brighter. Deep royal purple bloomed across her arms now, beautiful, unstoppable. Mira moved to her side and whispered, You're not weak, Rumi. Not for feeling, not for glowing. That's what makes you strong. Rumi finally looked at us, eyes glassy, and then she smiled. And when she did, her entire body glowed velvet, like dust swallowing the sky. Celine flinched back like it burnt. I smiled. Guess she's not yours anymore. Celine was still frozen in the corner of the room, her smug expression long gone. The violet light pulsed off Rumi's skin that left her silent, like she was seeing her for the first time, or realizing she never really had. Rumi stood tall now, taller than I've ever seen her. Not just physically, but emotionally, like some invisible weight had finally slid off her shoulders. And then she turned to me and Mira. Her voice was soft again, small. Can I see her? She asked. My mom, her grave. My stomach twisted. It wasn't a question for Celine. It was for us. For her. For me. I nodded immediately. Of course. Celine Scott. Still obsessed with the woman who left you nothing but trouble? I want to punch this woman. I still remembered the cut footage of it being revealed that Celine killed Rumi's mother. Ah.
Whoa! Whoa?
You didn't know that?
No!
You didn't know that?
I did not know!
Yeah, like that movie was supposed to, they had 3 hours of content, but they had to cut it down to 1.5 because, fucking corporate shit like that. And one of the moments,
Netflix,
yeah, and one of the moments it was gonna heavily hinted at, Celine is the reason why Rumi's mom was dead.
My god.
Someone else can fact check me on it, but I'm 95% sure. And there's also supposed to be a scene where Rumi visits her mother's grave and shit, and then some shit happens where she learns to accept her demon form, and then, draws her sword again, and then goes to the stadium. That was supposed to be, a thing that happened. But it didn't, because time.
Crazy.
Yeah. Crazy. I was crazy.
I was saying, I don't know if they've done it yet as of the uploading of this video. But if they make a book that has all the content that we missed, that'd be kind of sick.
That's what I'm saying! I need it. Rumi didn't look at her. She didn't even blink. She gave me everything. Mira took her hand, and then we followed her out the back door. The sky had started to cloud over. Even the weather knew this place didn't deserve sunshine. But the garden, if you could still call it that, was still there. Overgrown, wild, but breathing. The grave marker was small. Worn smooth at the edges. Half hidden beneath ivy and time. A single name carved on the stone. Were you... me... young? I'm going to assume that's it. Alright.
Yeah.
Yippee! Rumi knelt slowly, brushing away the vines at the tenderness that made my throat ache. She didn't say anything at first, just stared at the name like it was an echo she could still hear if she listened hard enough. I don't remember her face, she whispered. Not really, just her laugh. It was warm, like a melody I forgot to sing. Mira knelt beside her. I stayed standing, watching the two of them like they were something sacred. Celine said she died giving birth to me, Rumi continued. That it meant I was cursed, a bad omen, but what if I was born like this? To protect someone? What if that wasn't a curse? She placed a hand on the stone, her marking shimmered violet again. Soft as dusk. I'm trying, she whispered, to live in a way you'll be proud of. I'm still figuring it out, but I'm trying. A breeze moved through the garden then, just a gentle one. It carried the scent of something real, earth, rain, lavender growing wild. But maybe it was just my imagination, or maybe it was something more, but I felt a warm ripple through the air. Not from Celine, from her. We stood slowly, stronger now, quieter, but more grounded than I ever seen her. She turned to us with a look that almost broke me in half. Thank you, she said, for being here. You didn't have to thank us, I said, stepping forward, voice thick. We're always here. And we meant it. Every word. Because she wasn't alone anymore. Not in this place, not in the memories, not in the truth, not in the violet. Rumi! The ivy was still clinging to my palm. The tiny green threads wrapped around my nublets like they didn't want to let go. I didn't pull them off. I just stood there, breathing in the silence. Were you me young? That was her name. The only thing Celine hadn't taken from me. I remember her laugh, faint and fading, like it had been caught in a dream too long. Sometimes I'll try to hum to myself, thinking maybe the notes would bring her back, but they never quite matched what I remembered. It's always felt like a little out of reach. But today I felt something different. I didn't cry. I thought I would. I imagined this moment so many times growing up, standing in front of this stone, finally asking all the questions that had been burning holes in my chest. Why did you leave? Why didn't someone protect me? What am I? And now that I'm here, none of those questions mattered. Because even if she was gone, she'd given me enough. She gave me this breath, this skin, this power I never understood, and maybe the possibility of something more. I looked down at my arms, the violet light still flickering gently beneath the skin, like it was waiting for me to accept it. It didn't feel heavy anymore. It felt like something blooming. Mira shifted behind me, her shoulders brushing mine. She didn't say anything, but I could feel her watching me. I didn't need to look to know her eyes were wide and soft, the way they always were when she looked at me, like I was something fragile and strong all at once. God. I hated how much I wanted to lean into her, just a little. I hated how terrifying it was that maybe this purple glow meant that I thought it did. That all the feelings I've shoved down, that flutter in my chest every time she smiled and touched my hand or defended me like I mattered. It wasn't just a passing flicker. It was real. And I think she felt it too. Ah, the gayness! Zoe gave me a small nod from the other side of the garden. I could see it in her eyes. She knew. She always knew. But she never pushed. I looked down at the grave, letting the quiet settle in my chest like a stone that wasn't heavy anymore. I think I'm ready now, I said softly. Ready for what? Mira asked. I met her eyes. They were impossibly close and possibly warm. To stop hiding what I feel, I said. The light pulsed again, violet, clear and steady. Mira didn't flinch. She just smiled. I stood by the car, arms crossed, pretending to check my phone, even though the screen was off. I didn't watch for too long. Not directly. Not the way Mira was looking at her, or the way Rumi was glowing now. Violet did steady, like she had finally stopped running from her own heart. God, that color used to scare me, but now it just hurt. Not because it was wrong, because it was right, and not mine. I glanced up again, just enough to catch the two of them at the grave. Mira was close to Rumi. She could have whispered into her skin. Rumi was standing still, quiet, almost peaceful. For once, she wasn't folding into herself. She was standing open, soft, glowing like dusk under her skin. She said something I couldn't hear. Mira smiled, and something in my chest cracked just a little. Oh my god. Oh my god, Joline! I leaned against the car harder, hoping that the chill of the metal would ground me. I liked them both. Not liked. Yeah, right, Zoe. Rumi, with her half-laughs and quiet strength, and the way she lit up the world when she finally let herself free. And Mira, all fire and boldness and secret tenderness she only showed in moments like these, when no one was looking. Except I was always looking, and I was always too late. Oh no. I think I knew from the way Mira touched Rumi's hand the night we saw the glow. I knew from the way Rumi let Mira in before she let anyone else. I could read in between the lines between them. Soft, delicate, electric. There wasn't any room. There wasn't room for me in that. Yes, there is! Zoe! Lock in, please! I didn't blame them. I really didn't. They were good together. Better than most. Maybe even meant to be. But that didn't make the ache go away. I exhaled and stared at the sky. The clouds were still rolling in. Soft and gray. It felt right. Like the weather knew something I didn't want to say out loud. I shoved my hands into my jacket pocket. They deserved this. Rumi deserves someone to make her feel safe after everything she's gone through in that house. And Mira would love her like a storm and a lullaby all at once. So I stand there. I'd give them space. I'd be what they needed. Even if it meant breaking quietly from the sidelines. Zoe! Rumi looked over suddenly, her eyes meeting mine across the garden. The glow didn't fade, but her face softened, like she remembered I was still there. I smiled, wide enough to convince her I was okay. And maybe I would be, just not yet. Zoe, don't do this to me. Alright, who's Rumi? Okay. The wind felt colder now. Not bitter, but enough to remind me that we were still standing at the edge of something. Memory, grief, whatever came next. Mira was close, closer than usual. Her hand had brushed mine more than once on the way back for the grave. But I couldn't tell if it was intentional or just kindness. I couldn't bring myself to hold it, not yet. My chest felt like it was swelling and shrinking at the same time, like a dam was cracking, but I didn't want to break in front of them. I bit the inside of my cheek, hard, anything to keep the tears locked behind my eyes. You okay? Mira asked gently. I nodded once. Lie. She didn't press. It was one of the things I loved about her. She didn't force the truth out of me. She waited for it to come willingly. But I didn't know how to give it to her yet. We reached the car. Someone was leaning against the side, arms folded like always, but she wasn't on her phone. She was just watching. Her face shifted when she saw me. I didn't know what it meant, but something passed through her eyes, like softness tangled up with something else, something harder to name. You two take your time, she said, pushing off the car. I wasn't gonna leave without you. You could have, I tried to joke, my voice cracking a little more than I wanted. Zoe didn't smile. Not a chance. I glanced at her, then at Mira, and the ache in my chest twisted into something sharp. It wasn't just a grave. It wasn't just Celine. Don't keep her name out your mouth. It was the fact that I wanted both of them here, and I didn't know what that meant. Didn't know what it meant when I caught Zoe looking at me, looking at Mira, and then quickly looking away. That purple glow didn't just flicker when Mira touched me. It had flashed just once when Zoe had spoken softly back at the house, and again now. I wrapped my arms around myself tight, held it all in. The grief, the love, the not knowing. I'm gonna sit in the back, I mumbled, stepping past them and yanking the car door open a little harder than I meant to. So he caught my wrist gently before I slid in. Hey. I didn't look up. If I did, it would all come pouring out. But her voice softened. You don't have to hold it together. Not with us. And I almost broke right there, but instead I nodded under the lie. Because if I let go now, I don't know what part of me would be left standing. The drive was almost completely silent. Zoe drove, her hands tight on the wheel even though the roads were clear. Her jaw was clenched, eyes fixed forward like she was stared hard enough she wouldn't feel anything. I sat in the passenger seat, sneaking glances between her and the rear view mirror. Ruma was curled up in the back seat, hood up, arms covered around her middle like she was holding herself together by force. I could see just the sliver of a mark on her neck, the faintest purple pulsing under the skin. She hadn't said a word since we left the grave. I could still feel the warmth of her shoulder against mine from before, still feel the gravity of her presence. How she stood in front of her mother's name and let the silence say what words couldn't. But now she was disappearing again, quietly withdrawn, and I didn't know if reaching out would help or just push her deeper into that silence. Zoe shifted slightly, adjusting the rearview mirror. She wasn't looking at the road, she was looking at Rumi. I caught the flicker of pain in her face before she looked away again, masking it under the usual calm. I'd seen it before, but I never let myself believe what it meant. Now I was starting to wonder if I had been ignoring something I didn't want to face. She liked Rumi, and maybe she liked me too. The thought was a spark in the middle of an already complicated fire. My hand twitched on my knee. I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know what to do with any of this. I just knew that the silence in the car was starting to feel like grief, and no one was saying anything. The shower was still running when I stepped out. Steam clung to the mirror like fog, like it was trying to blur me out. I stared at my reflection anyway. Eyes red, hoodie damp, a faint glow still rippling under the skin of my collarbone. Dim now, but not gone. It felt like I held it in all day. The tears, the words, the why does it still hurt pounding on the back of my throat. I told myself I was strong for keeping it down, that I was in control. And now the house was quiet. Mira was probably in her room, Zoe too. Everyone pretending to be fine in separate corners of the same space. But I just couldn't hold it anymore. I sank to the floor of the bathroom, towel wrapped loosely around me, and let it come. The tears started slow, silent, then faster. My chest shook as I pressed my face into my knees and muffled the sound. I didn't want them to hear me like this. I didn't want anyone to know that I still felt like that girl on Celine's floor, begging for the walls for love. Rumi? The voice came soft, hesitant. Mira. I looked up too fast, leaking water and tears from my eyes. She stood just outside the cracked door, barefoot, holding one of my sweatshirts in her hands, like she wasn't sure if she had the right to be there. I heard the water stop, and I thought I heard... She trailed off. Her eyes found mine. She didn't ask permission. She just stepped in, sat beside me on the cold tiles, and draped the sweatshirt over my shoulders. Then she pulled me into her arms without a single word, and I broke, for real. I let her hold me, let my whole body shake with it. Let her see every part of me I've been hiding under velvet light and half smiles. She didn't pull away, not once. I'm not good like this. I choked out, my voice muffled against her shoulder. You don't have to be, she whispered. I wanted to ask what this was. Her and me and Zoe, me and this terrifying ache that lived in my chest every time I looked at either of them, but I wasn't ready yet. Maybe she wasn't either, so I just held it on, and she did too. And in that moment, being held was enough. Holy fuck, I read a lot.
Yeah.
I read 3,000 words, Joline, I did it!
Holy shit!
I'm a grown-up! Oh, I grew up so fast. Holy fuck.
Whew. Wow.
Okay, is this next chapter gonna be the same fucking length? Holy shit.
It might be. How do you know the word count? Does it tell you? Or did you just...
The author's note at the bottom said it was 3,000 words. And I was like, God damn.
Oh, wow.
We probably have enough for one more chapter.
Yeah. I was headed to the kitchen for water. That was the plan. No big emotion, no dramatic pacing, just water. But then I passed the bathroom. The shower had stopped. The light was still on, and underneath it all, muffled, just barely, I could hear the sound of crying. My feet stopped before I even realized it. Ruby. At first, I thought maybe I should knock or say something, but her sobs were quiet, holding it on themselves like she didn't want anyone to hear. It made my heart twist. And then Mira's voice broke through the silence. Ruby? Soft, like she'd been listening too. Like she'd already been standing there. I stepped back into the shadow of the hallway behind a corner. I shouldn't be listening. I knew that, but I didn't move. I heard the water stop, and I thought I heard pause, footsteps. Then the sound of Mira sitting down, the scrape of tile, the creak of a sweatshirt being wrapped around someone else. Then the part that hit the hardest. I'm not good at this, Rumi said, voice barely audible. You don't have to be, Mira whispered. Something inside me crumpled like paper. For a second, I couldn't breathe. They weren't kissing. They weren't saying I love you, but they didn't have to. That moment was already closer than anything I'd ever had with either of them. And still, I loved them both. It wasn't a crush. It wasn't some passing flutter. I loved Mira for her fire, her stubborn loyalty, the way she stood like a shield in front of people she cared about. I loved Rumi for her softness and shadows, for the quiet way she carried grief like a second skin and still somehow lit up when she laughed. I wanted to be part of it, part of them. But I stood there in the dark hallway. The truth settled in like a weight. They don't need me. They had each other. I didn't know where that left me. Besides standing in the dark, trying not to be jealous of the kind of love I'd never been brave enough to ask for. What the fuck?
I'm gonna fucking throw myself off a building, Zoe. Get it together.
I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna put that with my screenshots that I've been forgetting to take from AO3 that have hurt me. How fucking dare you? I'm sorry. Try not to be jealous of the kind of love I've never been brave enough to ask for. Let me just shoot myself in the head. That's what you're telling me.
So, Rachel, can you find it?
I know I don't need it.
Bitch.
I just the grind. I just need money. I just need money. Nothing matters but money. That's what I'm gonna tell them. That's what I've been telling myself.
Wow.
The sunlight was obnoxiously warm, golden, gentle. Way too beautiful for how I felt. It streamed through the kitchen window like it had the audacity to think today was going to be good. I was already at the stove by the time Mira shuffled in, hair a mess, hoodie off one shoulder. She blinked at me like I was a hallucination. You're up early, she mumbled. Breakfast queen has arrived, I announced, flipping a pancake with more flair than necessary. Y'all thought I couldn't beat the sun, but guess what? I am the sun. Mira stared. You're being weird. Me? Weird? I gasped, tending to be offended. Please, I'm just spreading the joy and carbs. She didn't laugh. I kept smiling anyway. A minute later, Rumi stepped into the room, white as always. Hoodie sleeves covering her hands, hair a little damp from the night before, and her eyes were red. She was probably crying more than in the bathroom, then flicked up to me, then down again. The air between them was different now. Softer, closer. I felt like a glitch in the room. Hey, sleepyhead, I said, turning with a grin too wide to be real. You get any dreams, or did the pancake spirit visit you too? She offered me a smile, almost automatic. New spirit, just sleep. Well, boring, but valid. I slipped pancakes on a plate like I hadn't cried in the hallway last night. Like I hadn't stood there listening to a moment I could never be a part of. Like I hadn't wanted to scream and run at the same time. Mira sat at the table. Rumi sat beside her. Of course. I plopped down across from them, still grinning, pouring syrup like it was glitter. Because if I slow down, if I let my smile falter even for a second, they'd see it. They'd know. And I couldn't ruin this for them. They were finally okay, after everything. After Celine, after the grave, after the silence. They were okay. So I had to be okay too. That was the rule. Alright, team, I said, tapping my fork against the table with a starter pistol. Let's eat some breakfast and pretend our lives aren't secretly an indie supernatural drama. That could have snorted out of Mira. A real smile from Rumi. And I held on to that. So he'd been acting weird today. Not her usual weird. Not the over-the-top dance in the living room. Let me dramatically narrate your life type of weird. This was different. She was too cheerful. Every movement felt sharp, like she was trying to outrun something inside her body. Her smile was huge, her jokes were constant, and the pancake? Way too perfect. Which is exactly why I was suspicious. Breakfast Queen has arrived, she shouted when I walked in, flipping pancakes like she was auditioning for a cooking show no one asked for. Normally I'd just roll my eyes and toss a strawberry at her, but today I just blinked. Something in the room didn't fit right. She was talking like a light switch stuck on high. And Rumi was quiet. Tired, maybe. Soft in the way she got when she was holding back everything she didn't want to say. She sat down beside me slowly, hoodie sleeves swallowed past her hand, barely meeting anyone's eye. Her glow was gone this morning, but I could still feel it under her skin, like a heartbeat. But Zoe didn't stop smiling. She didn't even slow down. Alright, team, she said, tapping her fork like a conductor. Let's eat some breakfast and pretend our lives aren't secretly an indie supernatural drama. I gave a little snort, partially out of habit, partially because it was actually kind of funny, but I was still watching her. I didn't miss the way her smile faltered for a half second when Rumi didn't laugh. I didn't miss the way her shoulders dropped just barely before she caught herself and launched into another over-the-top rant about syrup alignment and breakfast auras. I knew Zoe better than most. She could be loud, chaotic, theatrical, but she was also sharp. She felt things deeply and hid them even deeper. Usually with glitter, words, and way too many words. Glitter, sugar, and way too many words. But this was something else. Something sad, trying really hard to be funny. She was doing what Rumi did when she shut down. Just louder. I stared at my plate, then glanced at Rumi beside me. Her head was tilted slightly towards Zoe, but her face was unreadable. I wonder if she noticed it too. After a few bites, Zoe clapped her hands. So, what's the plan for today? Crying, healing, emotional avoidance? I could pencil in all three. Rumi gave a weak smile, eyes still low. I looked straight at Rumi. You good? She blinked at me, just for a second, and then I saw something raw behind her eyes. Then the smile snapped back like a switch. Me? Always, baby. I'm a walking serotonin factory. Liar, but I didn't call her up on it. Not yet. Because there's one thing I know about Zoe. She falls apart only when no one's looking. And right now, she was fighting like hell to keep those curtains closed. The dishes were still in the sink. Zoe had disappeared the second breakfast was over, mumbled something about spiritual reflection, and vanished into her room with a handful of strawberries and a forced grin. Rumi had retreated to her own corner of the house, too, probably to write in her journal and sit with that complicated sadness she carried like it was a part of her blood. And me? I stayed behind. Still at the table, still staring at empty chairs like they were going to give me answers I hadn't been brave enough to say out loud. I let out a long, slow breath and dropped my head into my hand. Because I couldn't lie to myself anymore. I liked Rumi. A lot. Maybe even more than like. She was soft and sharp, all at once. The kind of person who made silence feel full, who glowed, literally and emotionally, when she let herself just be. Every time she showed up, I felt like watching a flower bloom in the middle of winter, and every time she laughed, something in me wanted to keep it safe. But then there was Zoe, and I spent so long telling myself she was just a friend. Just chaos in human form, just a loud, glitter-covered storm who got on my nerves in exactly the way you let someone close. But today, I saw it. I really saw it. The way she smiled through her own heartbreak. The way she tried to make everyone else okay, even when she was thinking. The way her voice cracked for half a second when she thought no one noticed. And something about that cracked me open. Because the truth is, I don't just love how Rumi makes me feel calm. I love how Zoe makes me feel alive. I thought I had to choose. I thought liking one person canceled out the rest. That I'd be selfish, confused, or cruel to feel this much for more than one heartbeat at once. But maybe I don't have to choose. Maybe there's room for both. Because what I feel for Rumi is real, and what I feel for Zoe, that's real too. I ran a hand through my hair and leaned back in the chair, heart pounding harder than I wanted to admit. God, what am I even supposed to do with this? I didn't have an answer. Not yet. But for the first time, I wasn't pretending anymore. I love them both. And maybe the hardest part wasn't saying it. Maybe it was just figuring out that I was allowed to. Wow.
You are allowed! Have you ever heard of this thing called polyamory?
Have you not seen that Taco Bell commercial that was like, ¿Por qué no los dos? I reference that all the time. It's
What?
terrible. You've never, it's like the little girl who's, there used to be these Taco Bell commercials, maybe because you're too young for this.
We're the same age, but
but on the television, I don't know if you ever watched cable.
Yeah.
Maybe you're too rich. Maybe you like. So there used to be these Taco Bell commercials that used to be like a family arguing like whether they want soft tacos or crunchy tacos. And the little girl, like the youngest in the family, she'd be like, "¿Por qué no los dos?" And then it's like, why not both?
I don't remember
you didn't
this
see
commercial. No.
They were so popular.
I'm gonna
you didn't have cable?
I had cable. I'm gonna look it up after this. I need to see what you experienced.
I like that. That was so iconic to me, though.
I don't know. I remember those infomercials where they were like they show off a product and they talk about the product for probably like 4 fucking minutes. Like that was the commercial. It's like the Billy Mays thing and the ShamWow. I remember all those commercials. And also those like really cool toy ones that I'm like, oh, where do I find that toy at? Mommy, can I get it, please? Oh, Joline, it's the last spin of the year.
Oh, God.
At least for this year. I mean, we're gonna record next week, so like...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but it's the last uploaded wheel spin.
Oh, this is so crazy.
Oh, you sent me the...
Oh, yeah, I did. I had to.
I was like, what is this? Oh, shit. Alright, wheel time.
Are we gonna add something to this? Any more things?
Should we add the Danganronpa? Should we just put Danganronpa V3? And
just put Danganronpa, we'll figure it out from there. Perfect.
Are we gonna still keep Elf option?
You know what? Kick him off.
Get out of here, elevator! I forgot this wheel's not gonna take a minute to spin.
What do you mean?
That's what me and Lego's wheel spins for a whole fucking minute.
Oh wait, for real?
Yeah, we have a setting. Wait here. Under customize of spin, we have it set to 60 seconds.
Can we get 20?
Yeah, sure.
Oh shit. Wait, Max and...
Do you want to respin it?
I don't know. It landed on my choice. I feel
Yeah.
kind of lucky.
What if we spin it and that can like be like a suggestion of like what you pick?
Oh,
But it's
okay,
still up to you.
gotcha.
That way you can see it spin for 20 seconds.
Yay!
Honestly, the 60 seconds is really entertaining because it spins really fast for like a good 30 seconds and then it just goes really fucking slow.
Oh,
And then
thank
we're
God
like,
we did not keep that second option.
what do you mean you don't want to read Soul to a Gang Leader?
How much do we have left? Because if we can get it off the wheel, then
that means the world will be healing. Let me see real quick, because I actually don't have an answer for you.
hold on. Maybe I could answer.
I'm trying to pull it up as fast as possible. I gotta look up Soul to a Gang Leader because I can't find it. And
We're on chapter 32. We'd have to read it twice.
Yeah.
At least.
I love the
Actually, no, we read like 5. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, I mean, it would. I was gonna say it'd make good time if we read it, but Christmas would have already passed.
Yeah, dude, I looked up Soul to a Gang Leader in the search bar so I can find it faster, and Wattpad gave me a warning that said consent is important.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
I literally go down, I'm on 32 and I scroll a little bit, and you wanna know what the first thing I see is?
What?
It's try pushing a baby out of your vagina and tell me how comfortable it is.
What?
I chuckled. I was like, huh? I mean, I get it. Childbirth is that, but God, Jesus Christ.
What chapter are we on?
We're on 30-something, right?
Damn.
32, I think it said.
I remember the flatlining chapter. I'm like, damn, she got shot.
She got shot and she's pregnant.
Pregnant and dying. Oh yeah, and then Natalie and the baby were okay. We're like, oh, dar.
Yeah, and then she gave birth.
Yeah. She got shot in the stomach and the baby it was a miracle. It fucking lived and had no injuries.
The baby got evicted,
The baby!
The baby got evicted.
Damn, not the baby. Oh, Joline. It's the last one of the year. I don't know how to feel.
You say that like we're not recording next week.
I know, but like, I'm like, damn, I finally made it and I don't have to worry about videos anymore this year.
Woo!
I did it, I won. I'm so glad you convinced me to take December off. Like, man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I could have done it again.
It took me so long, too. I was like, dude. Like, that first year, I was like, you should take off like a month. And then you're like, eh. And then the next year, I was like, maybe you should take off a month. And you're like, yeah, I'll do it.
It took a whole year, probably a year and a half for me to be like, yeah, I'm convinced. I'll take a break or whatever.
Yeah, girl. You gotta live life.
Like,
It's a month.
I know, it's like you said, I'm on the grind.
The grind set. You're married to the grind.
Yeah, right now I am because Cameron still hasn't put a ring on it. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. No, I'm kidding. He's great. We're gonna look at rings Monday, so like he's committed.
Monday.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be a fun day. I'm gonna pick out a ring. I'm like, hold on, I gotta consult my attorney, and I call up you, and I'm like, so he's picking out this ring. Thoughts, and you're like, get a more expensive one. I'm like, okay, got you. I get a more expensive diamond.
My thought is gonna be like, oh, the diamond is too big,
No.
and then
I'm getting a topaz.
a topaz. I love that.
It's a blue one. I was like, I want the blue one.
Yeah, you pick a blue topaz. That'd be nice.
I'll probably bring the ring that I got at the flea market with me as like, this is the kind of ring that it feels nice on my finger. Can I get this, but like make it more of like a wedding ring? Can I get this but flashier? That you'll always be with me, Joline.
Oh my god. That's so crazy.
That makes it sound like one of those things you're like, even though I'm with him, I'm thinking of you type shit.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I'm like, damn, think about one of my wives.
Wow. I have my claim. It's Cameron's turn.
Yeah. It's like the fucking. It's like that All Might thing is like, now I pass it on to you. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching the last Wattpad Book Club of the year. This was fun. I'll see you fuckers next year. Joline, thank you so much for joining with this. I really do appreciate it. On screen is a playlist of all the other Wattpad Book Club readings I've done in the past with Joline, Honey, Sage, and Lego, so make sure to check those out. On screen is the last Wattpad Book Club reading that was uploaded, which if you like K-pop Demon Hunters, you'll love the last one, which is Mira with me and Lego, so check that out. And then, yeah, Joline, you have any final words? Any words of affirmation that you want to send off?
I hope y'all had a wonderful holiday season, and that you have a wonderful new year, and I hope you get all the good things you wanted.
Yippee! Alright, anyway, my name is Phoenix, that was Joline, and I guess we'll see you guys next year. Bye!
Bye!